what's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. And before getting started with the video, I just want to apologize for not making as many videos as I planned to for the past month. And the reason was because I've been so busy with my personal life. I had to do this and that, and I couldn't just find the right timing to make and to upload videos for you guys. But we're back on the grind, so let's get started. So as many of you guys can see by the title of the video, I decided to tell you guys my experience of my first year in 6th grade of my teacher being a pervert. And the reason is because I feel like telling you my experience, I can tell you guys what I did wrong and what I should have done when I didn't. And I hope this story can help many of you guys if you guys are going through the same situation or going through similar situation as mine. So let's start by telling you guys how I was before when I was younger, like in middle school and elementary school kind of thing. So back then, I was that shy kid. I was the shyest kid you ever meet. Like literally, like I wouldn't talk at all. At the times I would like only talk was like in presentations, or like if we had like partners, so we had to work on something, I would like talk to them then. But like that's like the only time I would talk, because I wouldn't like participate. I wouldn't want to, because I was that shy. That it came to the point where like we were like I think playing like hangman on the free time we had, and it was my turn. So like I did, like the teacher told me like I had to go up, you know, because I had to like learn how to like talk in front of people and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to. Be like, no thank you, like you could choose someone else. But like she came and she dragged me to the board. Well, not literally dragged me, but like she like was pushing me, you know, like saying like go, it's your turn, you know. But it was so embarrassing because, you know, everyone's staring at me like, you know, like you're so shy, you don't know what to say, we're just like staring at you. Yeah, I was there. So yeah, I was that kid. So this happened in middle school, my first year as a 6th grader. I was like, you know, I was like really hype, you know, because I was like that kind of person, like I like school, I love school, because I feel like I have this amazing opportunity which many people don't have, to have an education. So I thank God for giving me this opportunity. So I do like school, and I still do. And I was like really, you know, excited as my first day of school, like new clothes and that kind of stuff. And the first teacher we had, I remember it was a female, and she was pregnant. So the thing was that she wasn't going to be here for the whole entire year until the year ended, because she was pregnant. And I feel like she retired because she didn't want to like experience her first pregnancy as a teacher, you know. So I think she retired. And then the week after that, we got introduced by this other teacher, which it was a teacher that was a pervert. So the weird thing is that I still remember his name, how he looks, like where is he from. It's weird, you know. I should have like forgotten this already, 'cause it was like a few years ago, so we're just like a while now. But the fact that I still remember that, yeah. So the first days, weeks, we had him. It was like alright. It was like no bad vibes, everything was fine, no red flags or anything. Everything was good. But then more days had passed, weeks, when I started noticing these red flags, you know. Like it's just weird. It wasn't like supposed to happen. So weird things started happening, which the first sign was his staring. He had this uncomfortable stare. He would like just like stare at you up and down, like literally it was so noticeable. And I don't even know if he like noticed that people were noticing him, that he was doing that. So he would just look at you and just begin like staring at you up and down, like literally. He wouldn't have like I don't know, he wouldn't care if like people would like see him or not, because that's what it seemed to me. So that was the first sign. He will literally like stare at you all the freaking time. Or like when we had presentations, he will stare up and down. And the second sign was like when I remember this clearly, when we had to do this presentation. So we had to go up in the board, you know, like present whatever we're presenting, because I don't remember what we're like presenting. But when we were like up there, he called this one girl, and at that time it was like hot weather, so she had really short shorts. So while she was presenting, the teacher was behind her, and he was staring at her up and down, like her, like just like her legs, you know. So he was literally staring at her, and I realized that most of my classmates were like literally like seeing how he would stare at her, so they would start like noticing everything what was going on. And the third time I've noticed was when it was this time it was so obvious. It was literally so freaking obvious. I don't even know that the teacher was like so stupid that he didn't notice, and we were like noticing it. So that time I remember we were doing math. We had this like worksheet. We were like, for those who were like done with it, he will like call us to his desk so he can check our work. So he called me and I went up and everything was fine. So he was like checking, telling me blah blah blah, this and that, why you got it wrong and all this stuff, how you had to correct it and that. So yeah, so when he was like telling me this, like out of nowhere, he just told me, come a little closer. Just like he's like, come closer. And he was just like, go back on his like checking. So he said that to me. So I was like, okay, like I kind of felt like I was like a little bit far from him, so I could see everything, but not like as well if I was like a little bit closer to him. So I just like went a little bit, just a little bit. So yeah, so he went back to his work. He was shaking all that, and like suddenly he said it again. He was like, come a little closer. He was like, come a little closer. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm close enough that I can see and hear you very well. Why should I come closer to you if I can hear you well, you know? So I just like came just a little bit closer. So then he went back on his checking the work I did, and then he said it again. It was the third time he's told me to come closer. But at that time I had this amazing aide, which I would always like be with her all the time, because when he would put us into partners and do this like partnership work, you know, we have to do like this and that, I wouldn't want to. I'll always be like excluded from there and just like, you know, go with my aide and just like work with her, you know. She'll be like just like doing her stuff, I'll be doing my stuff, and if I would like ever need help or just tell her she would help me, she will never give me the answer because she wanted me to learn something. So yeah, and she heard when he told me to come closer, when she noticed I was close enough for me to get more closer, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. So yeah, and then she came up where I was, and she was standing next to me. When she turned and looked at me in the eye, and I turned back at her, and she was like saying to me like, don't come closer. So I was like, okay, I will not come closer. I wasn't even planning to, because I was close enough, you know. I wouldn't have been much closer. And the fact that the teacher literally like was sitting down like you know, like sitting down with like his legs open, like, you know, like this, like literally like this. So so it felt like so uncomfortable, like literally so uncomfortable. Then I like go back to my seat and just like start working and start doing some shit so I could like forget it, you know. So yeah, so I didn't come closer, I didn't come near him an inch even. So then he handed me the paper and I went back to my desk. So then the next day, my aide, my beautiful aide, she came up to me and told me, I know that you feel uncomfortable being in this class every single day, so I really suggest you to tell your parents, your guardian, or anyone, but I suggest you to tell the principal of what's going on. Because if you don't, no one is gonna know what's going on. You never know what he might do to you or do to the rest of the girls there. So I was like, yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I wasn't sure. I was so stupid, like I wasn't sure of like saying anything about what's going on. I don't know what was I thinking back then, I don't know. But then it was the next day. At that same day she told me, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I have to tell it because this is so important for me to tell someone, you know. So then it was the next day of school, and I decided to tell the principal. I was looking for her, and until I found her, I was like, I need to talk to you about something, what's going on with the teacher, with my teacher. And then she looked at me in the eyes, just like, okay, let's go to my office and let's talk there. So we walked in her office, we sat down, and she grabbed this paper and a pencil, which I noticed that everything I told her, she was writing it down. So I began telling her like what was going on about like the staring and the come closer thing and everything there. So when I was done, she was like, everything you're like telling me, it has to be true, because if not, you're gonna get into a serious trouble. Now, and I was like, no, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about something at this level? It's a really sensitive situation, So I'm like, no, I'm 100% sure what I'm telling you. This is all true. This is not a lie. I promise you. If you don't believe me, to my age, she was there when everything was happening, and she notices everything that's happening there too. And also, you can tell my classmates, because they know everything. They notice everything what he was doing. So she was like, okay, I believe you. So she dismissed me. So I went out of her office and went back to my class. And I've been noticing when I was in my classes, and the principal would come in and take some of my classmates out, which I was like, oh shit, like this is real. Like she's like taking some of my classmates out so they can like talk about the same situation of what like what's going on. So yeah, and then because I liked school so much that my mom was noticing something was going on. So then like it was almost the last week of school, which I told my mom, saying to her like, Mom, can I not go the last day of school? And she was like why? Like, because she'll never know why I would tell her something like that, knowing that I did like school, So it was kind of weird for me telling her not to go to school at that specific day. So I was like, especially the last day of school. So she was like, why not? Like, that's weird, I was like, just begin to like make up excuses like of how like probably not a lot of people show up the last day of school, and probably because I'm gonna be the only one there, and all these kind of things I'll be like popping in my head of just telling her, like. And she was like, okay, then if you don't want, then it's fine, because I always like attend school, so it wasn't like a big deal of not attending at least like one day, the last day of school. So days had passed, when finally the last day before school, I remember like I think we watched this like movie, or we did these like activities before the last day of school, which was the next day. I remember like we're doing this thing, and like every time I would like do something or like talk, he would like just stare at me for some reason. Like, it was just so uncomfortable. Like, that was like the most uncomfortable situation I ever been in my life, which it was a really bad experience. But like everything happens for a reason. I guess that what meant to happen in my life. I don't know. So I remember someone telling me that you don't have to worry about the next year, because they had kicked the teacher out. That they wouldn't hire him again, because he's a pervert. Like, why some school would hire some people like that? And I was like, I remember feeling like very, very happy that I wasn't going to have him anymore, or any other people, especially like making girls uncomfortable. It's just a bad feeling, If you ever been in that position, you guys will be like totally understandable of what I'm saying, probably because those people who haven't experienced it kind of like stuff, they don't really like know how it really feels. But it's just like a really bad situation like to be in. So yeah, and that's why I feel like me telling this story, it might help some of you guys if you guys are going through like I said before the video started. If it's happening to you right now, I really suggest you to tell someone, to tell your parents, your guardians, the principal. I don't care who it is, but you have to tell someone, because if you don't, no one will notice, no one will know. You never know what that person can do to you or your classmates. So please, I really suggest you to tell someone. You need to tell someone. That's where you have a voice for you to say something. You have to say something that you feel like saying. You need to you have to do what your intuition tells you to do, because you never know. If you ignore it, something bad is gonna happen. So please, before that shit comes, before that bad things happens to you, please say something. So yeah, that was my experience of having a pervert teacher in my first year of middle school. That's a bad start for my middle school years. Like, to be honest, it was just bad. Like, really, really, really bad. If you guys like these kind of story times, please let me know in the comments down below, and also give it a thumbs up if you guys like it and enjoyed it. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe, and also don't forget to turn the bell notification so every time I upload a video, you guys will be the first ones to know. And yeah, and that's about it, and see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.